Hi everyone, Christine here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to all my new subscribers. I have another design team project for my creative time, and let me share with you the products that I've used. I've used these super cute paper pads again. This one is called Fun Valentines, and I used the pink heart one. And then on this paper pad, this is the script Hearts and Solids, and I used a script here. And as you can see, they coordinate perfectly with each other. And I also use this pocket pillow box die, this assorted mini tag die set. As far as embellishments, I use this heart pearl bling set from Joann's, and these die cuts from K & Company. Unfortunately, they're no longer in business. So let me bring this up a little bit closer. Isn't that super cute? I love it. So I used 100-pound cardstock, and this is from My Favorite Things. And then I layered this super cute pattern paper on top. And as far as my layers, I added some cheesecloth, paper doily. This is where I used that script paper. I tore that up and inked that. Then I added all my die cuts. And this is where I inserted a stitched heart die from the assorted mini tag dies. And I added a little XOXO sentiment. And I have a little seam binding bow with that little pearl heart and some lace at the bottom. And so this is self-sealing with a little tab, but you can also use Velcro to close it. And you can fit a few candies in here. It's not big enough for a gift card, but it is so super cute. And I do have a process tutorial shortly after this, so if you're interested, stay tuned. And I thank you all for watching. Bye for now. Okay, I've already cut out my pieces. This is my pocket pillow die. You'll need to place it at an angle so it fits on your plate. And I needed to cut this out of cardstock because it's a little too big for a 6x6 sheet. I've also cut out the front part of some super cute pattern paper. And so I got all my ephemera, my pattern paper, some hearts cut out, cheesecloth, some doilies, not sure which one I'm going to use yet. And I'm just going to fold over all of my score lines. And this pillow box is self-sealing. It has a little tab that you can feed it through the hole, or you can use Velcro. And I'm just taking my pattern paper, I'm going to cut along the score lines, and I'm just going to fold them over so I know where I need to cut. And now I can glue this onto my cardstock, making sure I have it in the right direction. And now I'm going to play with my design. I'm going to take my ephemera and my pattern paper, and I'm going to see how it looks on the pillow box. And I'm going to tear up my pattern paper on all four sides. And I'm realizing that it's still too wide, so I'm going to have to do some fussy cutting and cut into my ephemera. Okay, now I like this a little bit better, and I'm going to have to tear my pattern paper a little bit shorter. Now I'm deciding if I wanted to use another die cut or a doily as my background. And I eventually go with the paper doily. And so this is about 4 or 5 layers of paper doilies. So I'm just going to glue them in the center with my glue gun. And before I glue everything down, I'm going to play with my design some more. I'm going to try to tuck some hearts and flowers behind the little cherub. And I go back and forth and I fuss with it a little bit more. And then once I'm happy with my design, I can glue everything down. And I'm taking a piece of cheesecloth and I'm just rubbing the ends just to give it more shabby look. And that's going to go underneath the doily. And I also want to add another piece of cheesecloth under the cherub. And I want to take this little ticket, it's got the word XOXO, which I'm going to cut out, and I'm going to place that on top of the heart. And before I glue everything down, I wanted to cut my doily down a little bit at the bottom. And the reason for that is I'm going to add some lace, and I wanted to be able to see that. And I'm just going to take my antique linen distress ink just to ink all my papers and my flowers. And I'm going to glue down my pattern papers, one of my layers. And I'm constantly dry fitting my design to make sure the placement is how I want it. Okay, so I'll continue to glue down all of my layers, starting from the back to the front. And before I add my cherub, I wanted to add a little bit more cheesecloth. And I'm doing more dry fitting, making sure my heart is where I want it to be, and my flowers are all tucked behind the cherub. And now I can glue these all one by one. And now I can glue down my cherub and my little XOXO sentiment on the heart. And here I'm just folding up my pillow box. And I'm going to seal it, and on the back there's a little tab that you can fit it into the little hole. And now I'm just taking one of my favorite laces, and I'm going to add this to the bottom of the pillow box. And I'm just going to add a little bit more hot glue under my papers to curve it a little bit closer to the box. And lastly, I'm going to take a little seam binding bow. I'm going to add a little plastic heart. And I usually like to take the little glue from the heart. I like to add my own hot glue. And I add it to the box. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this process tutorial, and I thank you all for watching. Bye for now.